Hi, I'm Megan Soap, Director of Cybersecurity at HBS. You're likely here because you're considering options for an XDR, or Extended Detection and Response. To help you make an informed decision, we wanted to give you a look behind the scenes at the tools we use and the team we've built to help you defend against cyber attacks. Tim Ballard, one of our SOC analysts, will walk you through the platform as well as the Managed XDR service to give you a look at what's all included. He'll cover 4 areas: the service architecture, Microsoft Defender for Endpoint, Microsoft Sentinel, SOC investigation, and threat detection. As he guides you through each of these topics, Tim will show you the process and thinking as well as the capabilities behind the Managed XDR technology. I'm sure by the end of it, you'll have confidence that the HBS Managed XDR service is a fit for you and your organization to secure what matters. Let's take a look.
Thanks for joining me today. As Megan mentioned, there are 4 main areas I'd like to cover with you regarding our XDR solution. The first of these is our service architecture. So one important aspect of our solution is that it is an Azure-based cloud-native solution. A benefit to this is that all of your data resides in your Azure environment. Because of this, we're able to employ a handful of curated permission sets following least privilege to access the data we need in your environment. None of your data ever leaves your tenant. Now, I'd also like to show you Defender for Endpoint. Defender for Endpoint is a lightweight agent that gets deployed to devices throughout your organization, to both workstations and servers. This agent is supported on Windows, Mac, Linux, and other operating systems. Deployment is straightforward, and our team will assist you during your onboarding phase to help you get the solution rolled out to your devices. Once deployed, Defender for Endpoint gives us access to a wealth of data, as well as tooling to protect your environment. The first part that we will look at is vulnerability management. Once the agent is deployed to a device, it monitors it for vulnerabilities. This data is then reported to the portal where we can see at scale what your security posture looks like across your environment. From the Defender security portal, we can view each recommendation, sort by largest impact, view which devices are exposed, and follow Microsoft's guidance to remediate. So from this portal, we can see all of the various recommendations that Microsoft has for us. And we can see that we have an impact score on the right. This is determined by the number of weaknesses, their criticality, as well as the number of exposed devices. In addition, if we were to go into any of these individual recommendations, it will actually tell us how to implement the solution. As an example, to set account lockout duration to 15 minutes or more, we're given the general information on that, but also the remediation options. So we can see in this case, it can be configured via group policy. And that is how all of these will be shown. So all of these will not only give you an overview of the vulnerability, but also give you remediation options. And we can even see which devices in your environment are exposed. Now, let me walk you through an example of an incident. When a detection is made on one of your devices, an alert will be created by the HBS SOC team for investigation. We will do the initial triage, and if we cannot confirm that the activity is benign, we will alert you to our findings and provide recommendations for remediation. In this case, we have an incident that fired for a potential ransomware deployment attempt occurring on an endpoint. Once this incident is opened, we can see the various alerts that occurred and begin our investigation. Additionally, we are given a graph showing us at a glance all of the assets involved in the event. Selecting one of these alerts allows us to investigate the events. In this case, we can see the use of PowerSploit, a tool set frequently used by bad actors being used on a device. From the process tree, our analysts can see all of the commands being ran, and with the deep integration of the agent into the Windows operating system, we can see all the details necessary to make a determination on these events. In this case, we can see several discovery commands are being ran, followed by a script deployment. Defender's visibility into these events on the device allow us to see the exact script that is being executed line by line so that our analysts could do a thorough investigation of the events and determine exactly what happened on the machine. Now, clearly here we can see that there's malicious behavior on this device. Our next decision is what action to take, and Defender for Endpoint gives us several options. From the same screen, we can pull up the device details. This will give us visibility into the device and allow us to take action against it immediately. From here, we can do things as simple as run an antivirus scan on the machine. Once ran, we can review the results to assist in our determination. We can also collect an investigation package, which will allow us to see the current state of the device and what is currently running on the machine. We can also initiate a live response session. which gives us instant access to the device by using a remote shell connection. Additionally, we can isolate the device from the network. This allows us to stop an attacker from controlling the device and performing any other malicious action, such as data exfiltration or lateral movement. Lastly, Defender also monitors unmanaged devices on your network. If malicious action is seen from an unmanaged device, we can contain that device. When a device is contained, any Microsoft Defender for Endpoint onboarded devices will block communication, inbound or outbound, with that device. Next, we will look at Microsoft Sentinel. Microsoft Sentinel is a cloud-native security information and event management platform, or SIEM. We leverage Sentinel in our solution as an additional layer of protection. The threat landscape of your organization is typically broader than just your server and endpoint devices. Using Sentinel, we can ingest events from all these disparate data sources that your organization operates from. We correlate and analyze those events to take a holistic view of your environment. A few examples of the data streams that we will configure are Entra ID sign-in logs, audit events, Windows security events, firewall logs, threat feeds, among many others. Additionally, we deploy our custom-written analytics to monitor these various data feeds for anomalous behavior or unexpected events and alert you on anything that our security analysts cannot confirm as benign. In our example here, we have an alert that fired for suspicious Office 365 Exchange forwarding rules. The intent of this rule is to alert any time a user creates a forwarding rule that leaves your domain. Let's take a look. I'll navigate to the events to give you some insight into what our analysts look at when we do our investigation. From this pane, we can see some of the Keiko language responsible for this detection. And in the results, we can see the event that caused this alert to fire. As you can see here, the user bhacker@pratham.com created a forwarding rule with a suspicious name that is redirecting mail to barthacker6@gmail.com. Additionally, there is a very suspicious mail rule name. Now, of course, this is not common activity in most environments, so our analysts would be contacting you to inform you of what happened and provide recommendations. Additionally, our analysts would do additional investigation around these events. We typically retain your logs for 365 days, giving us a wealth of data to work from when establishing baselines for activities in your environment. As we do our investigation, we can check the user's historical data to verify that their activities align with their historical data. We can verify several data points by analyzing their logs, such as typical locations, frequently used operating systems, and user agents, and many more. Here we can see that the user typically comes from a location in Iowa, but had several logins from both Sweden and the Netherlands around the same time that the forwarding rule was created. Further investigation would show that the IP addresses associated with these authentications were coming from a Tor exit node, which is also highly suspicious. These events are highly indicative of a business email compromise scenario. The capabilities of Sentinel allow us to not only alert you on the initial compromise, the bad login, the forwarding rule being created, or any of those other individual events, but also allows us to come back and help you remediate the problem by seeing all the artifacts that are left behind by the attacker, so that we make sure those all get cleaned up in the remediation effort, removing those forwarding rules, etc. In addition to the alerting and investigative capabilities that Microsoft Sentinel brings to bear, there are other useful tools that we deploy into your environment. One example of this is workbooks. We've written a handful of workbooks that get deployed into your Sentinel instance. Here you can see the executive summary pane of our XDR overview workbook. The goal of this workbook is to give a high-level overview of the work that HBS has done on your behalf. Here you can see that in the last 30 days, we've ingested 13 gigs of data, and we've analyzed all of that data to create 130 cases that have all been reviewed by the SOC team. In addition to our pre-written workbooks, we can also assist in custom deployments to continue to build out the solution for your team. Microsoft Sentinel houses all of the data in your environment. Therefore, we can provide you with visibility to that information as well. If you need monthly or weekly reports, or just need to be able to get in to investigate certain activities in the environment, we can assist with that as well and potentially streamline some of the efforts that you have inside your IT department. I hope that this gives you a high-level overview of what the solution is capable of. Thank you for watching. Please reach out to the HBS team if you want to learn more.